Hello everyone and welcome to one of the most exciting times for Jurassic World Evolution 2. Frontier teased the reveal of the Pyroraptor for their weekly stream yesterday, but then they hit us with the full reveal of the Dominion DLC and the accompanying free update. It was just one thing after another, and there is so much stuff coming to be excited about. For yesterday's video, I just raced to give you an edited down, condensed version of Frontier stream. So what I did was I cut it down from a very long 94 minutes to just a news-packed 18 minutes, so you could hear it all from the horse's mouth. In this video, I also want to share my thoughts about what we're getting in the game and geek out with you about this awesome expansion that is going to be game-changing. First, in case you hadn't heard yet, a quick and dirty overview of the Dominion DLC and the free content. First, the paid DLC is called the Jurassic World Evolution 2 Dominion Biosyn Expansion. It releases on June 14. Yes, that does mean I once more correctly predicted a release date. And the DLC, or expansion I should say, will cost £16 or $20 or €20 depending on your region/currency. New species are Pyroraptor, Therizinosaurus, Dimetrodon, and Quetzalcoatlus. New variants are Giganotosaurus and Dreadnoughtus. New dinosaur skins are 2 T-Rex skins, 1 scarred, just like old Rexy, and 1 feathered, yes, a Dilophosaurus skin, and 3 Parasaurolophus skins. All of the additions are made to look like how they appear in Jurassic World Dominion. New gameplay. We get a campaign edition where we take control over the Biosyn research compound. We finish its construction and go on expeditions for dinosaur DNA in the Amber Mines. The campaign will have voiceovers from Claire Deering, Dr. Ellie Sadler, and Dr. Alan Grant, voiced by the original actors. We also get a new Chaos Theory mode where we must protect the dinosaurs at a snowy Sierra Nevada range. Dinosaur rustlers will try to steal our dinosaurs, so we must build security measures to detect intruders and perimeter breaches and intercept thieves before they get away with our dinosaurs. New static content, as I would sum it up, is an entire set of Biosyn buildings, new viewing towers that go up and down, Biosyn vehicle skins, decorations, invisible fences, 2 new maps, at least one of which being a new biome, and an underground hyperloop system that allows you to connect some buildings without path. And all of that is coming in the paid DLC. Releasing on the same day, June 14th, for free, is Update 3. Update 3 will introduce the following. Chaos Theory maps in challenge mode. I've discussed this extensively in a previous video this week, so you can check that out. A new mechanic called Dinosaur Wrangling, where we can use ranger jeeps to herd dinosaurs. A DFW park tour building. Park tours now also work as transportation, connecting separate areas of the park without requiring a path or monorail connection. We can select multiple tranquilized dinosaurs at once for transportation. We're getting new contracts. We can place multiple of the same operations building on one map, so place down multiple control centers, visitor centers, arrival points, research centers, and more. And 2 new sandbox settings to turn off status checks, meaning the status information of dinosaurs is permanently accessible without a ranger team or a ranger post, and we can turn off injuries. If you want more detailed information on everything that is being added, I really recommend that you check out my livestream highlights video from yesterday. For the rest of this video, I want to highlight some of the highlights of the new additions that excite me the most. You may have also noticed some missing creatures. For example, you may have noticed that the Atrociraptor did not make the cut for this expansion. I will do a separate video with my thoughts and speculations about that, because there is definitely something suspicious about that. For me, the biggest surprise of the dinosaurs that are getting added are the feathered T-Rex and the Dilophosaurus. I thought maybe the Dilophosaurus Dominion movie skin wouldn't be unique enough to get added, and looking at it, I still don't know if it's worth a slot in this DLC, but the feathered T-Rex from Dominion Prologue being in this expansion is a very welcome surprise. We haven't seen it yet, we just know that the skin will be included, and I am curious to see it, because it's not feathered the same way the Therizinosaurus and the Pyroraptor are feathered. It's more downy and fluffy, so I'm interested to see how that looks. 2 other things I was pleasantly surprised by are the addition of a whole new Biosyn building set and that the expansion comes with decorations. I figured with how utilitarian it was, decorations would not be an inclusion, and I also didn't expect that we would focus this much on the Biosyn operations side, so I thought that maybe we would just be reusing the DFW buildings. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. The Biosyn buildings also include awesome new viewing towers which can go up and down, and invisible fences, which absolutely melted my brain with excitement, and a Hyperloop underground system that means some buildings do not need a path connection. It's basically an underground tunnel system, which I'm very much looking forward to using for some creative park builds. By the way, if you are not subscribed yet and you want to see me play this new expansion and use the new content for creative builds to inspire your own park building, then please consider subscribing to the channel. I can't wait to have Therizinosaurus and Quetzalcoatlus in my parks. Quetzalcoatlus, by the way, was still described during yesterday's livestream as huge, and apparently its exit animation from the hatchery is jaw-dropping because of its size. However, in spite of that, it will not need to be housed in a new aviary. We are not getting new extra large aviaries. Our plain old aviaries will do, although Rich mentioned we will need at least 4 connected domes for the big flyer to be happy. Speaking of size, they also said that the new Dreadnoughtus variant is enormous and noticeably larger than the current Dreadnoughtus. As someone who loved the ridiculously oversized Argentinosaurus from Zoo Tycoon, I will be very happy to have these megasauropods in my park. I always felt like the difference between the game's Dreadnoughtus and Brachiosaurus just wasn't enough to make the former all that special. The final thing that I want to touch on are the new maps. As a sandbox park builder, of course new locations are a great treat for me. New locations are always inspiring. They've only shown one of the new locations, the Biosyn Valley with the Biosyn facility. The other one, a snowy Sierra Nevada range, will hopefully be exactly what I had wished for. A map where there is permanent snow on the ground, which is something we don't have yet and something I miss. I love when it snows on our current maps, it looks so different, but it doesn't last. And painting the terrain with snow, which I know is an obvious solution, just looks odd because the snow stops at the borders of the map. Everything, like the surrounding environment, is not snowy when it doesn't snow. But back to that Biosyn Valley map. This already looks to be a unique biome. The trees have these beautiful mossy tendrils hanging off them, and immediately I was thinking, I can't wait to do another horror-themed build here. I think that will be absolutely awesome. Now just fingers crossed that the buildable area is sizable so we can unleash our creativity there. Whatever the case though, we will have a really large number of maps in the game at that point, and I think that's amazing. I mean, I haven't even built proper sandbox parks on all of the maps we have currently yet, and they're already adding more. Now let's look at a big question that can't be ignored. Do I think the expansion should have been free? It is one of the major negative reactions people are having to the announcement of the expansion. I've actually already addressed this issue in a video a long time ago in which I tried to emotionally prepare people for this upcoming content being behind a paywall. And even though that was at that point all still theoretical, my views as expressed in that video still apply. So if you want my full thoughts, for example about the possibility that we are paying for this content twice, as even though the Dominion content was likely cut from the base game, the price tag maybe wasn't cut accordingly. I've said it all in that video, so you can check it out on the channel after this one. But in short, clearly I never expected it to be free. I've been saying for months that I thought it would have a price tag similar to the Return to Jurassic Park DLC from the first game, and that is exactly right. I actually even toyed with the idea that it could be more expensive, so the fact that it isn't was actually happy news for me. But anyway, because I never expected differently, my reaction to it being a paid DLC is very mellow at this point, which is not the case for a lot of people who were still hopeful that it would be free until yesterday's announcement. So I understand that frustration, I definitely do. I just can't really identify with it anymore. You are like in the first or second stage of grief, denial or anger, and I'm in the lesser known 11th stage of grief, which is, what whatever, yay, new dinosaurs. I can't be upset about the price tag. I think, disregarding the issue of whether the cost was already covered by the base game price or not, which we'll never really know, just in a vacuum, I think the price of the DLC is fair for the amount of content that we are getting, and I'm just too excited about the new content to go back to that stage of anger. I'm just really happy that my favorite game is getting even better. Do I think it should have been free? Of course. In a perfect world, yes, of course it would have been free. What I hear a lot is, oh, they should have added the campaign continuation or the Chaos Theory mode for free, just the gameplay at least. But I thought about it and I don't really see how that would work. You can't have free gameplay depend on paid content elements. It couldn't be the case that people who didn't buy the DLC would have to play a free Biosyn storyline with DFW buildings and old dinosaurs, and people who did get the DLC would play the same storyline with Biosyn buildings and Dominion dinosaurs. You can't have that. If Frontier had added the campaign story for free, it either could not have used any Dominion content, which is silly, or they would have also had to add the buildings and the dinosaurs for free, and that would have basically been the meat and bones of the entire DLC. So it was a case of, it pretty much has to all be free or all be paid. And like I said, I never thought that it would all be free.
Oh, there it is.
I actually think we are getting some Dominion stuff for free. Stay tuned, video coming soon.
As I addressed earlier in this video though, we are getting some really cool stuff in the free update. And I'm guessing there will probably be even more revealed closer to June 14th or on the day of release itself in the patch notes. So far the free updates have been absolutely top-notch game changers. So whether you're willing to pay or not, your game is about to become a whole lot better on June 14th. My favorite part of the free update is that tours now provide transportation and we can have remote areas of our park connect to the rest of the park just with a tour. That's something I actually already tried to do once before in one of my sandbox builds, very confident that it would work and being very disappointed that it didn't. Being able to place multiple of the same operations buildings is also very, very exciting. Man, this would have come in handy for my Dominion City build, being able to use all of those buildings more than once. Basically what I'm saying, being the very humble person that I am, is that with this free update, the game is finally catching up to my level of creativity. I will also be having a laugh with the dinosaur wrangling mechanic. Although I don't see myself using it for practical reasons, I think still just tranquilizing and transporting them over is more efficient because then you can do other stuff in the meantime. But I think it's just fun, like a mini game, and I'm sure the new campaign or Chaos Theory mode will force us to use it for an objective once or twice, disabling the regular process of tranquilizing and transporting. I am personally bouncing with excitement, and I can't wait to share a lot of Jurassic World Evolution 2 Dominion Biosyn content with you. Let me know in a comment down below what you think of the DLC and the free update. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game.